So, hopefully everyone is having a good Christmas. When you see this video, you'll probably see it on Tuesday during the Christmas, December 25th, 2018. So I wish all of you a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and stay healthy and be peaceful. That's all you can ask for. There's this video right here. It's something that I have touched upon before, but on previous update versions. It's been a while since I went back to my Apple TV 4K to look at it and to see what's new. Well, what's new? Well, there's a lot of new going on the Apple TV 4K right now. I think this is probably the best time for you guys who are deeply invested into Apple iTunes ecosystem to purchase Apple TV 4K, especially if you're going to be buying a 4K television, which I know you will or probably have already purchased a 4K television. So let's dive into this. What do I like about the Apple TV 4K? Well, first and foremost, it's the 4K and the HDR formats. It supports both HDR and Dolby Vision, and when it comes to streaming the 4K, HDR, and Dolby Vision, honestly, guys, no one has better streaming quality, bitrate quality than Apple TV 4K. And this is coming from somebody who owns NVIDIA Shield, Roku, Chromecast, you name it, man. I own all of them. So I'm pretty much hands-on on what the bitrate quality is between some of these services. And when it comes to movies, no one has the better and rich library of movies than iTunes. iTunes really has a tons of movies. But let's see what's new. Let's talk about the Apple TV 4K. So what's going on? What's new now that we are in December, almost 1 week away, saying goodbye to 2018. We're going into 2019. So what is new right now, currently, with the Apple TV 4K? So let's dive right into that. Well, one of the coolest additions to Apple TV 4K, it's now the ability for you to use Dolby Atmos. For those of you who have Dolby Vision televisions and Dolby Atmos receivers, you're going to have a full Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, Dolby package. When you purchase the Apple TV and you got the television that has Dolby Vision capabilities with a receiver that has Dolby Atmos capabilities, you're going to have a full Dolby package this Christmas. All you pretty much have to do is just get yourself an Apple TV 4K. So if you're into Dolby, if you're into Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos, this is it. Apple TV 4K right now is the most recommendable device that I can say. Go ahead and purchase it. So let's go dive into this. First and foremost, there's something I need to tell you for those of you who are first-time buyers of the Apple TV 4K. If you just purchased the Apple TV 4K and this is your first time purchasing it, these are the settings that I recommend that you use. These are my recommended settings. Make sure that you enable HDR on the video. And also make sure that you select 4K SDR. The reason you have to do this, the reason you have to select 4K SDR, so that way you can have Dolby Vision and HDR10 match that content the way it was encoded to begin with, the way the filmmaker encoded that HDR, or the way the studio had encoded that HDR into a film. So keep the 4K SDR on the format. Do not force HDR10 or Dolby Vision. This was a mistake that I made way back, and I learned later on that you don't want to do that. If you are forcing the HDR and Dolby Vision all the time, then you're not going to have the best possible Dolby Vision or best possible HDR10 picture quality that the studio that has remastered that movie has intended. Okay? So keep the format at 4K SDR. HDMI output should always be YCbCR. Okay? Chroma up. Here's the thing with the chroma upsample. Here's the thing. When it comes to chroma, it depends on your HDMI cable. Here's the deal. I know that I have Belkin ultra high speed cable, and I know that my Apple TV 4K is directly connected with Belkin ultra high speed cable directly to my television. So I know that my Apple TV 4K will be able to utilize that best possible chroma of 444 instead of 420 or 422. So I select 444 because I already know I have a really fast, capable HDMI cable. It even says at the bottom, 420 provides a high quality picture that is compatible with most TVs and HDMI cables. 444 improves clarity but requires high speed cables. You can read that stuff right there at the bottom. I already know that I have a high speed cable. I already have ultra high speed cable Belkin, so I know that I can utilize that. Now, this is a very important part. This right here. This is the most important part, guys. Make sure that you select match content, your dynamic range on, and your frame rate on. What this is going to do, basically, this is going to give you the best possible high dynamic range, Dolby Vision, encoded content that was already imprinted onto that movie. You're going to get that exact tone mapping, exact color and contrast ratio that was already mastered with HDR on that movie. Okay? You're going to get the best possible static metadata that HDR can produce, and you're going to get the best possible dynamic metadata that Dolby Vision can output on that movie. So if you want to have the best possible experience from your HDR, in short, without me butchering this in the technical terms, select match frame and dynamic range on. Okay, this is very important. Audio output, this is something it will depend on your capabilities. If you don't have your Apple TV connected via ARC return on your receiver, then you cannot get the Dolby Atmos. If you have a LG SK9 Dolby Atmos or Samsung Dolby Atmos receiver, then automatically through the ARC return HDMI cable, your Apple TV will detect that you have a Dolby Atmos. Okay? So this is what I recommend. So before I end this video, I only have a couple of minutes left. This is recorded in 4K. There's tons of Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos movies right now available on Apple TV 4K. First, here we go with the VENOM. VENOM supports both Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. The Meg, Jason Statham movie, supports Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. Dwayne Johnson movie SKYSCRAPER supports both Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom supports both Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. I mean, tons of movies. Tom Cruise movie Mission Impossible Fallout supports Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. And then you have 2001 Space Odyssey that supports Dolby Vision as well, but it doesn't have Dolby Atmos. Rambo First Blood supports Dolby Vision, and it's only $5. And what's so great about all of this is the fact that you're getting Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos for a really good price. I mean, a lot of these movies, some of them are $12, some of them are $10, some of them are $9. This one, it's $20. This is from Sony. But still, even with this movie, you're still getting your money's worth. So Apple TV 4K is a great device. If you have 4K TV, I highly recommend that you purchase it. Merry Christmas. Take care.